Hey, how's it going? Welcome to another episode of exploring the historical differences between old school RuneScape and RuneScape in 2004. And if you're new to the series, then please check out the playlist in the description and at least watch episode 1 so that you're not confused as to what all of this is. I ended the previous video by getting 70 range to equip Black D'hide, and I got a ton of hard clues along the way. It was very unique to experience what it was like doing clues in 2004. But with that side quest out of the way, in this video, I want to put the focus back onto the main storyline, questing. More specifically, the goal for this video is going to be getting all the requirements for Legends Quest. Wait, it's me from the future, and tomorrow I'm going to change my mind and decide to do Legends in this video. So there's a long day of questing ahead. Wait, how do you get the bunny ears though? Hey, mind your business, buddy, you'll find out when you're older. There's two requirements I'm missing for Legends. The first is 45 herb lore, that's the only skilling requirement, and the other requirement is 107 quest points. I'm currently at 100 quest points, and I think I might be able to get away with not doing maybe 1 or 2 quests and still have enough quest points for Legends, but I want to do all the quests before I do Legends anyway. So I'm going to get every single quest done in this video minus Legends and get 45 herb lore. Right now I've got to edit the previous video. I've got a lot of editing to do. I have to get that rendered and uploaded, but while I'm doing that, I'm going to go to the cast druids and get the stacks of units up. I might even have enough already to get me to 45. I've not done any calculations whatsoever. I'm definitely going to have to collect well, I guess I could maybe use all limpet roots. I'll probably have to collect a lot of secondaries, but here's the starting stacks of all the herbs, and let's get into it. We'll use my level 82 thieving to use the very nice shortcut right down here. And defense doesn't really matter here as long as I have the max strength bonus possible, which I think I have the best that I can get at least. That's all that matters. They really don't do much damage. That's why I have some empty slots. For now, I'm going to be training with melee because I still want to get my melee stats up more. It is better to use the rune scimitar over the dragon longsword for these guys because they're a lower level. They have less health, lower defense. You do less overkill damage. The rune scimitar is a faster weapon, so rune sim is better to use here. And I'm going to be focusing on attack for now. I'm currently level 67, and we'll see where we go from there. Hold on, I almost forgot. I show my high scores at the start and end of each video, and here's where we're currently at. 1276 total level, ranked 25 overall. Front page is going to be ranked 21, by the way, so getting very close to that. And I guess herb lore is going to be the thing I'll be training the most of in this video. I'm currently barely in the top 1k for herb lore. Okay, finally got the previous video uploaded and scheduled, and normally from here, I would start to move on and do a bunch of other stuff and record a bunch of clips, but I'm going to stay at Chaos Druids for the rest of the day because of the holiday today. I won't be able to focus on doing a bunch of other things or recording clips because I'll be so distracted by how he has risen. Happy Easter. We got a genie coming in, and I already know. I've been looking at the herb lore XP. This is going to be 30 herb lore, starting off the video strong. I'm having a good time right now. Hey, and 30 herb lore means I can now make unfinished Ranar potions. That's the very first one I made. Can't make them into purr pots though until 38. I would say that 30 herb lore means I can now identify toad flax, except toad flax did not come out until July of 2004. And this is May of 04, so it does not exist yet. I can make defense potions now, but that is a Ranar and a Whiteberry, which would be like an insane thing to make instead of just saving the Ranars for pure pots. I just got level 68 attack. Oh my... a dragon spear? What? Looking at the prices of that, couple buy offers for 150, 200k, some sell offers for 300k, 1 mil, recently sold. Okay, could probably get 200, 250k for it. As a reminder, there are no special attacks. Those don't come out until June 14th, 2004. We are currently in May 18th, 2004. And I don't think this weapon is good at all. I think at this point in time, you're probably more so paying for the novelty of having a dragon spear or for the fashionscape of it, or maybe hoping it becomes more useful when special attacks come out. Not much utility for it though, at least right now. Also, my bank is getting pretty full. I'm gonna have to do something about that soon. Good morning. I just woke up and a mod appeared next to me and died, and then came back and said there's bunny ears in Varrock. Let's see. Are they doing an event today? It's the day after Easter. Ooh. Oh, I see white dots. Looking good, thank you. Ooh, Thessalia? Do you want to buy any fine clothes, or would you like your bunny ears back? Wow. The bunny ears were from the Easter event in 2003. Now, I first started RuneScape in 2005. It was April 05, and I think I had just missed the Easter event of that year, which I think that was the rubber chicken in 2005. I think the first real event that I got a reward from was Halloween of 2005, and it was a really lame one. It was the zombie head, and it didn't really, you couldn't wear it, you just hold it out and you'd say things to it. But yeah, that's really cool. I was gonna spend like an hour or two this morning doing more cast druids as I wake up, but I guess at this point I'm already recording, so I've already forced myself to wake up. So let's start working towards those legends requirements and pick out a quest to do. The bunny ears were released originally in RuneScape on April 20th, 2003, and Easter of 2003 also happened to be on April 20th. It's kind of funny, just like this year. Hundreds to thousands were spawned on the ground throughout RuneScape. The drop was accompanied by a system message, Happy Easter, and they were the first untradeable holiday drop. And remember, 2003 was RuneScape Classic. I started Scorpion Catcher on day 1 of members release, so the Scorpion cage is near the top of my bank. Let's do that one. For the first Scorpion, I have to go all the way around Taverley Dungeon. There's no shortcuts. There's no giants in this room. It looks so empty. In osrs, they have the hill giants in this area, but not in 04. Awesome, I got the Dusty Key, which I'll need for the future, at the very least for Hero's Quest. I'm going to leave the jail key just out of reach of Velrak, and let's carry on. Gotta pick up an inventory of the Blue Dragon scales because I would never let a perfectly good trip to the Blue Dragons go to waste. There's no extra section down here. In osrs, there's the extra Blue Dragon section. Probably could have combined this quest with Hero's Quest to save myself an extra trip down here, but that's alright. It means I'll be able to collect more scales. Here's the first Scorpion. Thankfully, I've already done the bar crawl, so I don't have to worry about that. We could head straight on in here and get the second Scorpion. Is that a crossbow? I've never seen someone holding a crossbow or using a crossbow before. And there is the third and final Scorpion. Scorpion Catcher is complete. You get 6.6k strength XP, a quest point, and you can pay Thormac to turn battle staves into mystic staves for 40k GP, which does not change the magic abilities or the magic accuracy of your battle staves. It just increases the melee bonuses of it, but you're not going to want to use a mystic staff for meleeing anyways. You're better off using a rune scimitar. Maybe it's useful for PKing in case you accidentally staff bash, you'll have slightly better melee stats. I've gone to this dungeon so many times, but I never realized that there's no Witch Haven in 2004. How have I not noticed that? Well, anyways, doing the Sea Slug quest. Witch Haven came out September 2006. So what was the Witch Haven dungeon called then before there was Witch Haven? The small fishing village of Witch Haven has been added to the map, but there's something very fishy going on. You'll have your chance to investigate the secrets of that village later this month. That was September 4th, and then the Slug Menace quest came out September 20th. Even to this day in osrs, they still do this quite a lot, where they add a new map area, but they don't add the quests that you do there, or the boss or the NPCs that you fight or talk to there. And it's kind of cool because there's lots of revisions of osrs, or RuneScape in general, where if you didn't play for that brief period of time, for like whether it's a couple months or a couple weeks even, then you'll never have gotten to experience, in the live game at least, that specific piece of content. Like for example, for Desert Treasure 2, I think they added this area before the quest came out, so it was kind of like a mystery what this place was. Or another iconic example would be Menaphos. I mean, that's gone on for a very long time, none of us have missed that. But probably within a couple years, we'll never be able to experience walking up to these walls and seeing nothing. Also, at this current moment in time, Varlamore is not connected. And while we're looking at that area, dude, Karend, oh my god, it's been changed so many times over the years. Here was Karend, or Zaya, originally. Look at that, dude. And they've updated the map of Zaya, or Karend, so many times throughout the years. I think you could probably write its own wiki page just on the updates they've done to the map of Zaya. What was the name of that guy? When Zaya first came out, he would give out clue scrolls every day. Yes, Big Mo, I found him. This is the perfect example of if you don't play for a very brief period of time, you will completely miss something that you may have never ended up knowing about otherwise. Zaya came out January 2016, so this guy was meant to be like a teaser for Zaya, because he was supposedly from there. Anyways, where am I going with all this? It doesn't really tie back specifically to Slug Menace or Witch Haven, because I don't know how much Witch Haven changed after Slug Menace came into the game. It just reminded me of this, and I wanted to talk about that because it all ties back to what they're doing with this project, Lost City. Thankfully, Jagex started backing up all their map data and everything starting from, I believe it was 2012, but prior to 2012, there's a lot of dates of the game that have not been found even to this day. I'm not a coder, so I don't fully know how it is, but to my understanding, even when caches of the game are found, it's mainly like images and how the map looks, I think. But I don't believe it includes how you interact with the game and how all the mechanics work, which is what this project is doing. They're doing tons of research on old forums, using Wayback Machine, meticulously going through 20-year-old YouTube videos, and so on to fill in the missing puzzle pieces for those missing years, because not even Jagex has that information. Unfortunately, not only are they missing a bunch of puzzle pieces, but the picture on the box also has a lot of areas of it that are blurred out. I love RuneScape, and I don't want years of it lost to history. So please, if you're even remotely interested, check out the development Discord in the description and help recreate the lost years of RuneScape. The Sea Slug quest is done. You get 7k fishing XP, which would have been really beneficial to have because you could do this from level 1 fishing. You just need 30 fire making for the quest, but members did not exist when I started playing the game, so I was not able to do it. It's very nice though to skip past the early fishing levels. It's kind of funny, I was talking about the crossbow before, and then you get the oyster pearl from this quest. And if there ever was a use for the crossbow, it would be to use it with pearl bolts for something. I don't know, maybe you could try it for dragons possibly. But you're not able to enchant bolts up until the metal crossbows came out in July of 06. I'm on Tippet using Wayback Machine. This is June 6th, 2004. This shows all the crossbows and bolts that were in the game at the time, or the one crossbow and the 4 types of bolts up until July of 06. It says normal bolts are like iron arrows, then pearl, opal, and barbed are like steel, mithril, and then it says barbs between Addy and Rune. I don't know if they changed it over the years, but that is like not accurate at all because for barbed bolts it says 12 strength bonus, opal is plus 14 strength, and then for pearl, those are like way above the other two at 48. So I don't know if they changed it over the years, or the more likely scenario is that the person who was writing this did not know what they were talking about. Because in 2004, it doesn't show your range strength bonus anywhere on here. It's just your melee strength bonus. Yeah, it doesn't show your range strength. So I don't know how you were supposed to figure that out back in the day besides testing it and seeing what your max hit was, I guess. I've got all these bronze bars I've gotten passively, buying them from shops, and I'm going to make them into bronze knives because next quest I'm going to do is going to be Temple of Ikov, and you'll quickly find out what these are for. I don't think I've ever used this anvil in all my years playing any version of RuneScape. Lucian looks very different in 04 compared to old school. He just looks like a dude wearing gear versus an old school. He's got some mysterious robes on, and eventually he gets hella dripped out. Oh, the notorious bridge. Isn't this the one where you have to have negative weight because otherwise if you try to cross it, you take 20 damage? So people would scam other players by telling them to cross with their valuable items, and then they would die and you could take their items on the ground. Hey, just don't bring PewDiePie here. Many of you already have these words etched into your tombstone. You search the chest but find nothing. Only one chest at a time has the ice arrows, and every time you collect ice arrows from a chest, the ice arrows then move to another chest, and you have to keep on searching the different chests until you find them again. Each time you loot a chest with arrows, you'll get between 1 to 5. So typically people would do this many times and run all the way back and forth across the room being attacked by the spiders, which by the way do not show up on the minimap either. There's no yellow dots for them. However, there is a thing where as long as you have ice arrows equipped, you could use any kind of thrown range ammunition that you just equip in your main hand slot, like darts or knives or the Tazar throwing rings, which don't exist yet, or the blowpipe, etc. And as long as you have the ice arrows equipped in your ammo slot, it still counts. It works as if whatever you're throwing is the ice arrow ammunition. And I believe that's never been changed in RuneScape. Even to this day in old school, you can still do that. To summon the Fire Warrior boss fight, all I have to do is click on the door and then he appears. Let me pray mage, and then you'll see that I am able to damage him with the knives. Let me switch that to rapid. I was looking at his wiki page. He did change slightly in 06, but even to this day in old school, he still has the same appearance as he did all those years ago. This seems to be a very untouched quest in osrs. I mean, based on the fact that NPC models haven't really changed, the weird bug with the ice arrows has never been changed. It looks like they never even fixed the bridge thing, because it says that you take 20 damage. Maybe they changed where the items appear or something. Well, in osrs, there's gravestones now and Death's Coffer and whatnot, but it seems to be a very untouched quest. At the start of the quest, you're given the Pennant of Lucian, and if you examine it, It says the amulet that Lucian gave you. And then later on in the quest, you get the Armadillo pendant, and when you examine that, it says yet another amulet, which is joking about the fact that like you got another amulet in the quest that does seemingly nothing, and it looks exactly the same. This examine text was changed. As you can see in old school RuneScape, it just says worn by followers of Armadillo. It does not say when it was changed to that though. The only update that shows for the changes is completely unrelated. Also, the staff of Armadillo looks really lame. It just looks like an earth staff. It was changed in February of 2024 to look a lot more unique. I didn't bring a teleport out. I was like, oh man, I'm gonna have to run all the way back through the dungeon. But then I saw there's a ladder right here. And I was like, yes, I've been saved. It takes you right by McGrubber's Woods. And when you try to leave, the door is locked. Interesting, at this side of the cave there's lesser demons here, which look like they can be safe spotted. I found out this key is what opens that door, and I think that's the only way out if you don't have a teleport. You could also die, or wait for a random event to teleport you. Let's use the key on there. Nice. They really get you exploring the game. There's no way through. I have to go all the way around, because I have to go to this house right here. But there's no opening. And now we defeat Lucian, and he says, "You have defeated me for now. I shall reappear in the north." In the north. Lucian, we find out, I think we find out later on that he's part of the Majorat, and there's a Majorat quest, Secrets of the North. Ooh, goosebumps, man. Anyways, that is the quest complete. You get 10.5k range XP, 8k fletching XP, which is really nice because you could do this quest from level 1 fletching, which I did not do, but you do need 42 thieving for the quest, so there is that as well. You also need 40 range, so you can't skip past all the early levels with the 10.5k range XP reward from that. Of course, I did not bring a teleport out, but while I'm walking, let's look at how many quests I have left. 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, I guess it's big chompy bird hunting next, naturally. That's probably the one that all of you would pick to do next too, right? The date that we're currently in, May 18th, 2004, that is the day that big chompy bird hunting came out. This day is that update. Look at how the chompies look. This is what they took away from us. Oh my gosh, the chompies are amazing. Imagine having that as a pet in OSRS. There's the old Chompy and the new Chompy, both alive and downed. The big Chompy bird hunting quest is done. 2 quest points, 1400 cooking XP, 700 range XP, 200 fletching XP, ogre bow, ability to make ogre arrows. The Chompy bird hats are not in the game yet. Those come out July of 2004, but I believe you can start killing Chompies now because I think it is tracking them. If we check the bow, yeah, it is tracking them. So if you want to get started on the 4,000 kills now, go for it. I'm not going to, but that is going to be a completionist thing for people that are into that stuff. Imagine doing 4,000 Chompy kills without the perks that we have in OSRS, like the double perk from the diaries. You don't get the free daily arrows from rants, so you have to make them all yourself. There's no accumulator or assembler to pick up your arrows. You have to manually use everything on everything. Like there's no left click for filling up the bellows. There's no left click for the toads. Because in OSRS, you can just simply left click to inflate them rather than having to use bellows on them. And plus, I mean, in OSRS, we got RuneLight highlighting everything for you as well. Makes everything easier to see. I've got 3 quests left. Heroes, Legends, and the one I'm doing now, Underground Pass. Here we are at the entrance of the Underground Pass. And so it begins. I'm really not worried at all. I mean, I got pretty high stats, especially my agility. 72 agility should be a breeze. This is why I've got the mithril seeds on me, because we can completely skip over this puzzle by using the mithril seeds. It's a very good idea to save these from waterfall, so you don't have to worry about using up a lot of food with the trial and error. Shout out Slayer Music for this amazing pro tip. And just like that, we have completed the maze. I just have to not misclick as we run to the lever. Even in 2004, the run trick works where you can run to skip over the tile in between. And that way you don't have to search the odd markings. Because my thieving is over level 50, I can skip that part of Underground Pass and go straight through this door. Oh no. Oh no. I don't want to have to do this. I mean, the chat box is telling me to do so. I'm sorry. No. I'm so sorry, Unicorn. I didn't mean for it to be so gruesome, but I had to do it for the quest. So upset about this unicorn. Meanwhile, I have like 250 unicorn horns in my bank that Definitely just somehow spawned in there. Charlie was sick of the other unicorns and their magical Leo Pleurodon, so this was for the best. Normally turning your prayer on or off would stop what you're doing, and it does, but because we have the same attack speed and we're lined up to where he's attacking, I think one tick before me, I was able to prayer flick for that. Jeez, there are a lot of gingers down here. For this fun part of the quest that everyone loves, you probably know it scales based on your... How'd I fail? Well, I was going to say that Slayer Music shows it that if you have 70 agility, you have a 91% chance of success, although of course I did not succeed there. I love what I'm seeing right here. This just looks super old school. We're in the underground pass. There's these 3 old models for the demons you have to defeat. This is awesome. This is the one time I actually want to fall because I need to get back down there, but of course now that I want to, I'm not going to. This guy, Nilhoof, for some reason they changed his name to Niloof instead of Hoof at some unspecified date that we don't know in 2005. I wonder why. I just got the gauntlets from Clank. These are tied for the best in slot melee gloves in the game, along with all the types you get from Family Crest. Although Underground Pass came out after Family Crest. Family Crest was April 02, Underground Pass was March of 03. So when Clank's gauntlets came out, I guess it wasn't anything special, or there wasn't any kind of upgrade or new best in slot. I am so glad to be above level 62 combat, so I don't have to worry about these blessed spiders. That would be quite a pain. Well, there's the robes of Zamorak. The bottom is the best in slot mage robe in the game. Like I said last video, best in slot mage is wizard robe top along with this, the Zami robe bottom. Why did the blind man fall into the well? Because he didn't see that well. Hey, I got the Ivan staff. The Ivan staff has a max of 25, which is pretty good for 2004. However, it only holds 120 charges. You can't upgrade it in any way, and you have to run all the way through the underground pass if you want to recharge it. Meanwhile, the god spells with charge have a max of 30, which is quite a bit better, and there's no recharging you have to do. Although Ivan's Blast only requires 50 magic, whereas if you want to use the charge spell, that's 80 magic. And if you think Ivan's Staff is inconvenient in 2004, then you should see it in RuneScape Classic, because in Classic, it only holds 25 charges. Alright, Underground Pass is done once we finish the dialogue. 5 quest points, 3k agility XP, 3k attack XP, Ivan's Staff, Ivan's Blast, Clank's Gauntlets, and it's also a requirement for Legends Quest. And speaking of Legends, you need 107 quest points. But either way, Hero's Quest is a quest requirement for Legends, so I do have to do that one next. Only problem is going to be finding a partner for it. I'll use this shortcut to get back to the bank faster, search in the chest for the free loot. I was thinking, and I decided that it would be better if I do Legends Quest in this video. I think that'd be the perfect way to wrap this one up instead of saving it for a separate video. So the goal is changing from getting all the requirements for Legends to actually completing Legends Quest in this video. And by the end of this video, I will have a Cape of Legends on my back. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. It's not gonna fit. No, my bank is full. Oh no. I've been dreading this day. I have no idea what I could possibly drop though. I need every single thing in here. Oh, this will be tough. I'll get as far into Hero's Quest as possible before I have to get a teammate for it. I'm not even sure what gang I'm in. There's probably a way if you talk to enough NPCs around Varrock, you probably could figure it out, but because you can't click on the quests, there's no way to see what gang you sided with. I don't remember because it was so long ago. I did Shield of Arav within the first few days of the server coming out, and I found a random person, not on Discord, but on the forums for the game. Let's do it. Hero's Quest is started, and it's spelled differently in 04 versus Old School RuneScape. It's plural in Old School versus in 04 it's singular. One hero versus multiple heroes, I guess is the implication of that. This spot right here is a good spot here. Let me show you. This is a good place to safe spot these ice warriors, which drop medium clues. You could stand on this tile, and they should always get trapped right there. But I am not going for medium clues right now. I'm going for the ice gloves. I did not prepare for this very well, but either way, made it through the fight and got the ice gloves. When you examine them, it says, "These will keep my hands cold." No way, look at the Firebird, the Entrana Firebird. In osrs, it looks the same as the Phoenix pet. I have it up right here. But in 2004, look at those little chicken feetsies. I'm sorry, bird. I'm sorry for kicking you. I need your feather. And of course, as expected, its name is Firebird. Rather than an OSRS, it was renamed to one word, Firebird. It's also funny, I just mentioned chicken because when you examine it, it says probably not a chicken. I swear I did not look at the examine text before I compared it to a chicken. Of course, you already know that on the way here, I had to pick up an inventory of the blue dragon scales. The OSRS wiki says that you never burn lava eels, but this is 2004, so I don't know if that was ever changed and maybe you were able to burn them prior. Either way, I got multiple of them in case you can burn them, and also in case I accidentally misclick and eat one. I love the absurdity that you're cooking eels that already live in lava. Whichever one of the gang leaders I'm able to talk to, that means I'm in that gang. So because I'm able to talk to Straven, that means I am in the Phoenix gang. And even more confirmation, when I try to talk to the other leader, she says, "You've got some guts coming here, Phoenix guy." I'm definitely spits, jeez. I'm a bit late to see this, but Pizzazz did post earlier today saying Easter is over and there was no holiday drops. That was only in RSC that they did the drops. But as long as you logged in over the Easter weekend, then you can speak to Thessalia to collect the bunny ears. Or there's a grace period today as well. I guess you could still log in and be able to claim them. I tried to do the drop trick to see if I could get multiple bunny ears, but it does not work. When I try to pick it up, it says, "You don't need another set of bunny ears. You only have one head." Well, that's just not true, is it? Hey, this works out really well. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna look at the forums. That's how I found someone for Shield of Rob, and sure enough, posted 22 minutes ago, online now and ready to go, looking for a Phoenix Gang member for Heroes Quest. Wouldn't you know it, I am a Phoenix Gang member. That is really good timing. Hey, here we go. We're meeting up. We got the key. We can do the quest. This was a lot easier than I thought it was gonna be. I'm fighting Grip through the wall. Shout out to King Henry for helping with this. Yeah, we got Pete's candlestick. Let's hand over the candlestick, and this is the third and final item. Watch out for the flashbang, but that was clip number 3000 of the series. Just thought that would be worth mentioning. On the way to completing the quest, a little bit of foreshadowing for what's about to happen next. Did not mean to rhyme that. I want to buy a placeholder for the pestle and mortar in the bank, and also since I'm here, I may as well buy a bunch of Eyes of Newt. Alright, let's finish up Heroes Quest. There we go. We get XP in 12 different skills, which I think the only level I'm getting is going to be an herb level. Yep, 31 herb lore. It's going to be very useful for my herb lore training requirement for Legends Quest. There's a list of all the XP you gain for each of the skills. Access to the Heroes Guild. Can get Dragon Battle Axes and Maces. I can recharge glories, well, not at the Fountain of Rune, but I could recharge them at the Fountain of Heroes. So with that said, let's head on in there. I have become a hero, and soon I will become a legend. That's right here. It's convenient. I thought it was downstairs for some reason. I'm not crazy. Well, I mean, maybe I am crazy, but not for that reason. It doesn't show this on the OSRs wiki, but on the RS3 wiki, it says that it was moved to the basement on November 24th, 2004. That's another thing. There's runite rocks down here. Yeah, it's probably these two, and they are mined. But yeah, as you can see, there is no passageway that goes around here to the Fountain of Rune. It's just upstairs right in front of the entrance. There is also this one blue dragon in the cage that maybe it's a pretty popular spot, I don't know. Now we can go upstairs and we'll see what's up over here. We got an altar to restore prayer, and then this is the guy that sells Dragon Battle Axe for 200k and the Dragon Mace for 50k. Neither of which I'm going to buy. And on the top floor we have a nice patio and a couple of chests with some crazy loot party hats in them. No. It is herb lore training time. While I'm doing a bit of research and planning out what I'm going to do, I'm just going to run back and forth and buy some Eyes of Newt from that shop. I don't know if it's the best shop to buy Eyes of Newt from, but I'm right here and I've got some stuff to edit while I'm walking or running. I'm sure it would be overall more efficient to do some moneymakers and then buy these Eyes of Newts from other players. But the problem, gotta use this teleport by the way, it saves a lot of time. The problem with that is that there's no one selling Eyes of Newts. There's some offers from way earlier today, and then even if you look down here at recently sold, there's not very many that are traded every day. So kind of have to do this myself if I want to make attack or super attack potions. Here's a list of the places that sell Eyes of Newt. It's Port's Rim, Entrana, Gutnoth, and Taverley. I think Gutnoth is too far out of the way, and then Entrana also wouldn't be worth it because you have to go through Port's Rim to get to Entrana. It's between Port's Rim and Taverley, And with Port Sarim, I could make air runes along the way and then teleport back to Falador, but I think Taverley might be a bit closer, so if I micro efficiently want to get Eyes of Newt, I think this would be better. Or maybe Port Sarim is better because of Draenor, but then you have to walk both ways. I don't know. I'm spending more time thinking about it than the amount of time difference I would actually save doing one method over another, so I'm just going to do a few more trips here. What if the real method is to buy Eyes of Newt until I run out of energy, train Herblore in the Falador West Bank, and every time my run gets to full, I go do like 2 more trips to buy more Eyes of Newt. I think I've cracked it. Cool, I've got the Herblore section of the bank all organized. We got the clean herbs, the secondaries, the unids, and the unfinished potions. I added up all of these. The number of unids I have is 2,725, plus I have an additional 575 unfinished potions. So I have a total of 3,300 herbs plus potions. I've collected all myself, mainly from cast druids. I've not bought a single one. It's kind of crazy that I've got level 31 Herblore basically without training herb at all. I might have made a couple potions on the account, but like I've not trained this skill. This is all mainly from lamping, a little bit from identifying unids at cast druids when I got vials of water so I can make them into unfinished potions, and a little bit from questing. I imagine training Herblore is going to be very similar to stringing bows, so every time I'm going to move that down there and then double click back and forth. Oh, the first time I'm making any potion in bulk on the account. And then before I deposit these, I want to withdraw the potions, then deposit these, then withdraw the second thing. Move it back down and get back to it. Oh man, yes dude, yes. Let's get the Herblore gains rolling in. And the goal is going to be, like I said before, 45 Herblore for Legends. It is boostable, so I could get a Greenman's Ale and do it from level 44, but like I'm going to want to train my Herblore up anyways. No point to have to rely on the +1 boost for the quest. I'm just going to get the level. Listen to the sound when you make a potion. And for reference, here's what it sounds like in OSRS. 32 Herblore. 33, 34. I'm about out of my unfinished Guam potions, so moving on to the Marantils. I'm going to crush up these unicorn horns, which you can't put it at the bottom because it crushes up whichever one you click on, so you want to put it in the middle like you're fire making and do it that way. The Guam potions give 25 XP each, whereas the Marantils, or the anti-poison potions, give 37.5 XP each. That's a 50% increase over the amount of XP I was getting before. 35, 36. Well, done with these unfinished potions, moving on to the Terramans. I think these are Terramans. The strength pots will give 50 XP each. Dude, I have anti-poisons for days now, and I'm about to have a bunch of strength pots as well. It feels kind of bad using limpers on regular strength pots, but it's worth getting all that XP right now, I'd say. I have almost 1k limpers. If I didn't have to use those 20 limpers for Temple of Ikov, I would have been at over 1k. 37. Oh, this is a good one. 38 Herblore. You can now make prayer pots or prayer restore potions. Thank you so much. Thank you all for being here. I really want to make prayer pots, but I don't have too many unfinished prayer pots or unfinished Ranar potions right now, so I'm gonna have to make my own, and it's probably, yeah, it's gonna be the same process. That's the same process as making the finished potions. I still haven't identified which stack is the Ranners. I'm gonna guess it's this one. Let's see. Yeah, that's the Ranners. Oh my gosh, dude. I'm gonna have like 300 Ranners. You get 7.5 Herblore XP just for identifying a Rannar. That's a pretty hefty amount for the point that I'm at. It also visually, at least to me, seems a lot more satisfying identifying herbs than it is cleaning grimy herbs in OSRS. Is that just me? It looks really satisfying. I definitely want to identify my whole stack of Rannars because I do not want to sell those as a bank sale with unids. However, these stacks, I believe that's Guam and Marantil. Yeah, we're definitely going to leave these unidentified. Definitely got to keep these stacks of ultra rare expensive herbs, these Rannars, Quarms, and Dwarf Weeds to sell to clueless players. I'm just kidding. Meow. But that's kind of funny. I just got a genie, and this genie, hold on, let me turn the music on. This lamp is going to get me to level 39. Trying to buy some essence right now for 90 GP each, but there's not a lot of people selling. I tried the East Bank too. Well, I'm trying to buy it for 95 GP each now. I'm at the East Bank, but still like no one's selling. Like the amount of essence I've gotten from people, I could have just spent that time mining it myself. I'm trying to get like a big bulk trade of like, I want to buy 2k essence. I'm saying buying S 95 each, then this guy pops up saying selling 1k S 100k, so let's just do that. Cool. That'll be good for a while. One more thing before leaving Varrock, I want to buy a Staff of Water. Why are there 3 staves that all look the same? Battle Staff, Staff, Magic Staff. The reason I bought Essence is because I want to collect Snape Grass on the Hobgoblin Peninsula, and on the way there, I'm going to craft air runes. And the reason why I bought the Water Staff is because if I'm crafting air runes anyways, then I could save an inventory slot. Because if I was using an air staff, I would have laws, waters, and airs in my inventory. There's only 3 spawns of it. Oh man. This is pretty rough to get. Does it respawn by the time I get back to the first one? Or maybe if I walk back to the first one so I could let my run restore, is it going to respawn by the time I get back? Oh, wow. That was a pretty fast respawn. It might only be worth collecting the 2 up there. Or I could do some other multi-skilling method where I train combat on the hobgoblins, collect limperts and snake grass at the same time, and get melee XP. But nah, this is fine. I don't want to make it too complicated. The main goal is to train up Herblore and get Legends Quest done. I have determined that it is more worthwhile to just stay in this spot up here, going back and forth between the 2, because the time it takes me to get to that one, once I get there, these other 2 have respawned. Once my inventory is full, I'm going to teleport back to Faldor, bank the Snape Grass and Air Runes, grab out more Essence, and repeat. If I run the whole way here, I end up with about 30% run remaining. As I'm finishing up this inventory, I'm now at 95%, 96. So I can pretty much run the whole time. 72 agility, by the way. I don't think there's really any good ways to get Snape Grass. I think this is the best way there is, because in terms of spawns, there's no Hosidius, there's no Civitas. All we have is the Hobgoblin Peninsula, and then Waterbirth Island is not out yet. That comes out August 05. Yeah, it's pretty far away. So this is the only spawn for Snape Grass in the game, and the only other things would be these monsters. Tribesmen drop them 1 out of 7. Yeah, there's not really any other worthwhile way to get these. And there's no bank in the crafting guild like there is in old school. I went to 2004hq.com to check out the monster drop tables, and there's 4 monsters. There's the Cast Druids, which, you know, I've spent a lot of time at. Those are 1 out of 128. Cast Druid Warriors, also 1 out of 128. Salar and the Twisted, 1 out of 3. And finally, Tribesmen, 1 out of 6. Something I was not aware of was how rare it is for Easter to fall on April 20th. I was just looking this up because I was curious. The next Easter on 420 isn't going to be until 2087. I had no idea that this was going to be the last April 20th Easter of my life, and I almost feel like I missed out or didn't take full advantage of it or something. Because I remember in 2014, I was a senior in high school, and I remember that day I was skating with my friends. I remember looking it up. I was like, okay, the last one happened 10 years ago. Next one will be in another 10 years. So I thought it's a thing that happens every 10 years. But no, it's pure coincidence. It happened to work out that way. And I did not think to look into it any more than that. My first time making prayer pots, they're 87.5 Herblore XP each. And just like seeing all these prayer pots in my inventory is just wild to me. I've never had more than like 3 prayer pots on the account in total. I've already made more than I've ever had. But yeah, I am back to training Herblore tonight. There's level 40. I can now identify Erits. I got 41 Herblore, but I skipped through the dialogue message. 42, 43, 44, and finally one more. 45 Herblore. I can now make super attack potions, and that is the last requirement for Legends Quest, which I'm not going to do tonight because it's almost bedtime. Probably just going to chill, do some random skilling for the next 30 minutes or something. Tomorrow is going to be the big day when I will become a legend. Look at all the Herblore supplies I still have left after getting level 45. And also, all the prayer pots should be down here, 253 dose prayer pots. People buy them for 2.5k and people are selling them for 3k. So 2.5 to 3k for a 3 dose prayer pot. That's like, I guess like 700k worth of prayer pots that I have. Also, probably should mention this in the video. This was added in the last few days. You're no longer allowed to advertise services, because a lot of the time you would type in like nature runes and people would be like buying or selling for 1 GP, and then the text would be come to this world and run for me. But that is no longer allowed. Today's the big day. Right now I'm getting the items I need for the quest. I need an unpowered orb. So I'm very glad that I made that extra molten glass a little while back. I also need 1 of each tier of gem, and I have all of them except for red topaz, jade, and opal. I have to cut these. I'm a bit nervous about the red topaz. We'll save that one for last. Oh no, I crushed it. Crushed Gemstone looks different in 2004. It looks like Ashes. It was July 07 when they changed it to what we have today. Okay, here we go. Please don't crush it. No! Alright, we're going to do some mining in Shiloh. I could probably wait until later in the quest because we have to go by Shiloh in the quest. Opal's easy though, no problem. This is my first time entering the Wizards Guild because I have to buy a soul rune for the quest. And I'm pretty sure it's called the Wizards Guild, but this is the Magic Guild door. But I believe that's meant to be like a Magic Guild door rather than like the Magic Guild door, if you know what I mean. But anyways, hopefully there's soul runes in stock. Magic store owner. Yes, there are 1250 GP. What? And there's Nats and oh, such a good price for natures. The final quest there is left to do, Legends, has finally officially begun. I've got a 1 hour and 15 minute long Slayer music guide from 2016 to guide me through. No one's here but the rocks are all mined. I guess someone is hopping around the worlds. I got one, at least in osrs with 51 crafting. It's a 65% chance to successfully cut it, so let's see. No! Another chance, please. Yes! Wow, doing this is bringing back memories, having to chop through the jungle. Look at the Umli bird. It's like a little chicken, it's so small. Isn't it way bigger in osrs? It literally looks like just a recolored chicken. Let me get to a safe spot so I can pull up the wiki. Okay, here's the wiki page. This is what they look like today. I'm pretty sure they're a lot bigger, aren't they? This is just, I pulled up the wiki page for a chicken as well. This was a chicken. And that's an Umli. It's just recolored, isn't it? But I'm pretty sure in old school it's a lot bigger than the size of a chicken in old school. Look at him just pecking at the ground. I'm trying very hard to follow the quest guide exactly because if I miss a step, you can't open up anything in the quest panel. You can't see what step you're on. And this is the kind of quest where you could miss one dialogue option and not even know what you messed up on, and you'll be searching all over the place to figure out what you accidentally skipped. I could have just showed you Slayer Music's video. You can see the size of the Umlis in this video. They're a lot bigger than the chickens, or the chicken-sized ones in 2004. How does he balance it like that? Everything in this quest must have hit so hard in 2004. Why did they do this? Let me through. As soon as this Deathwing goes down, come on. Yes, yes. Oh yeah, that's a lot of dialogue options. You'll probably have to kill one. The left click is empty, so don't try to left click the bull onto the fire. Once you go through the firewall and start the boss fight, your prayer gets drained. It's drained all the way, so that's why I got the prayer pots. Man, when we were all young, dumb kids, this fight must have gone so hard. When I did Jungle Potion, I saved the Ardrigol and the Snakeweed. So it's nice to save time right now, and I'm also freeing up bank spaces because I've had them in there for a long time. I definitely feel like I'm playing in 2004 right now. It looks so cool down here. I think even in old school, it still looks pretty similar to this. I'm watching Slayer Music almost fall off the edge, and if this was 2004, my heart would be pounding as if I was at Zuck, seeing myself dangling by my fingers. These creatures you have to fight, they changed how they look in January of 07. They went from like ghost skeletons to ghost skeletons with armor on them. It's kind of crazy. In the RuneScape 2 beta, it was just floating armor. I have found the least contested lesser demon spot in the game. This item that you get, the dark dagger, or it's called the black dagger, it was renamed somewhere in March of 2005 to be Dark Dagger. Once you finish Legends Quest, you cannot get this again. It was updated in January of 2020 in old school, so you can get it even after you finish the quest. But if you want to get multiple, you have to do the drop trick, and it's a long dialogue you have to go through each time. Oh, no, don't fall. Get back up, come on. Oh no, I didn't bring a teleport out. Is there a way to get out of here without, can you get out of here? I guess we'll find out something new today. I was gonna say that would have been a very big oversight if you could get stuck down here, but thankfully, well, I haven't tried yet, but it looks like you are able to, yeah, you can go back up the way you came. Just gonna have to get past those death wings again. Now, what you really don't wanna do is drop your pickaxe right here and wait for it to despawn. Then you might be stuck. This is the last seed I have, come on. Oh, the very last one I had. That's the final fight of the quest. The strange plant just spawned at the same time. We'll put the totem on there, and we receive the gilded totem. Oh, this is it. We're about to complete the quest. From here, I get to choose 4 skills that I'll get 7,650 XP in each. In osrs, they actually changed it in 2022 to give you 4 lots of 30k XP each. So instead of a total of about 30k XP, you get a total of 120k XP. But in 04, it's 4 skills, 7650 XP each. I was debating between prayer and herblore, but I think I'm gonna go with herblore because I still have stuff that I can unlock by getting a higher herb level, whereas with prayer, there's no more prayers for me to unlock. So herblore just sounds more fun. I'm currently level 45. Let's pick that. There's level 46, pick herblore again, there's level 47, herblore again, level 48, and finally one more into herblore, level 49. And with that, congratulations, you have completed the Legends quest. You are awarded 4 quest points, a total of 115. That is every quest in the game completed. 49 herblore, okay, another one. Another one, thank you. Thank you. Wow, dude. Wow.